I hope you all are having a great day. As you can see, I'm just enjoying a little bit time in the park today because it's such gorgeous, amazing weather right now. And I have my feet on the ground for a little grounding. And I'm just loving every moment of it right now. I'm just so happy, appreciative, and grateful for everything right now. And sometimes we just have to start there because sometimes there's many things we want to do, many things we want to fix, and things like that. And we don't think we have all the resources that we have. And maybe it's a timing thing. Maybe it's like, oh, there's actually something better for you to use, and it doesn't need to be that one specific thing. So with me, I've been trying to focus around sleep because I think sleep is very important. I mean, that's how your body heals and regenerates and stuff like that. I've just had this story for a long time. Like, I just don't sleep a lot and I don't get good quality sleep, and it takes me a very long time to fall asleep. And I've heard this many times and things like that. There are some people that have a genetic thing, there are some natural night sleepers, night owls and things like that. And it's just like, I just want to change it a little bit. Even if I am a night owl, because I always was one when I was younger, I still want to have better quality sleep. I would like to be able to fall asleep faster. And I heard this time again, like the best thing to do for sleep is actually sun exposure, especially when you first wake up. And I was very resistant to that, especially in cold winter weather. don't want to don't want to be outside. And I just decided, like, okay, let's just experiment and see what happens a little bit. Oh wow. Sorry, I don't I just saw this huge white bird just fly through. I have no idea what it was. If I were to guess, it was like a hawk. It was like really close. With as nearsighted as I am, the fact I could see it, wow, that was just a moment of awe for me. I'm just gonna say it was a hawk because that's the first thing that comes up in my mind. I could be wrong. Obviously, I didn't get it on footage because I'm looking that way away from the camera. But wow, that was amazing. The wingspan. And I normally don't see birds that light in color, so that just really stood out for me. Oh, wow. And it was relatively close. It's not like close, like it's a few feet away from me, but it's off, not too far in the distance. What is that from here? Like maybe 100 feet and in the air. And it was so big, I could see the feathers and the wing. Wow, that was really like amazing to see. And yeah, sometimes you gotta take a moment to just appreciate the random things that happen. And oh, there it is again. I have no idea what it is. It's much further away and really high up in the sky. Wow. Okay, I think I'm gonna change. Okay, so I might just be occasionally looking back up to see this beautiful bird just flying in the air. Okay, now it's going by trees by me, but anyway, sometimes, what was I talking about? Okay, I think it flew away to probably by my tree, but I can't see where the leaves are. But yeah, I was talking about something and I don't remember. So let's start over, or maybe I'm picking up where I left off. Yeah, I wanted to talk about, or at least I started talking about, just being grateful for like what you have, and there's just so much around you that you don't even realize what's coming up for you, as like it could be exactly what you need in that moment. So I just had a fly just zing by my ear. It was just so loud, like you could feel the vibration of the wind flapping. So apparently, I need distraction with nature. But yeah. So I think what I was talking about, I don't know, was sleep. So I just had this story that I was like a night person. I always had trouble going to sleep and stuff like that. And I've heard for a long time, oh, use sunlight. Like, use sunlight when you first wake up. It'll help restart your circadian rhythms. And I don't know. I've always been a night owl. That's been my story for a long time. But I decided, you know what, I'm gonna try it, especially it's a little warmer, so it's a little easier for me to get outside in the morning. And I think it's helping. Like, I've done it for like maybe 2, 3 days in a row right now. And yeah, even if I'm getting up really late, but I'm still trying to get myself, like, I'll just kind of start off the day. Like, I make like a ginger tea now with some lemon, and I warm up some milk. Like, I do like a kind of like a slow double boil without the boil method. I just basically have a big cup, and then I have a cup of milk, and I put warm water and I put the milk in that and just let it slowly come up to temperature, because I like my raw unpasteurized milk warm. I don't like it freezing cold from the fridge. So I've decided to go for a walk either before or after my milk, kind of depending what I'm doing, because sometimes after I have my tea, sometimes I feel the compulsion to do dishes, or sometimes I'll go for a walk then, or sometimes I'm just kind of fiddling on my phone a little bit, or sometimes I go for the walk after I had my milk, breaking my fast in that sense. So it's like a liquid meal. And I've been noticing I am waking up a little bit earlier each day, and I've been getting sleepy, a little sleepier during at night. Now, just because I'm getting a little sleepier doesn't mean I'm falling asleep faster. That I'm still working on, and that also has to do with what I'm eating as well, because I know it's like if I don't eat enough, I don't sleep. Like, my mood changes and stuff like that. And I've also learned how to negotiate that while I'm awake, because when I notice mood changes or I'm having a really hard time making a decision, I eat something. And it brings me back to those commercials with Snickers. Snickers, where you just be like, they have like the big angry person, and it's like, "Now calm down, like, have a Snickers because they're hangry." And it turns out to be really true. At least for me, this is my story. My body naturally wants to intermittent fast. I don't know why. I no, I well, I'm not exactly sure. My body's always wanted to do that, even when I was younger. Like, I couldn't stand eating hours before, after waking up, even when I was like little, like when I was like 10, 7. I remember that. Like, I just did not like eating. And my mom's also the same way, so I didn't really think much of it. And then, you're trying to be healthier, and I was doing a lot of yogic philosophy and some Ayurveda and stuff like that. And I'm just like, okay, like, some things got better, but other things weren't getting better. And I had the insight a couple months ago. I'm under eating, so I've been trying to increase my meals more, and that's been really, really helpful. I feel more stable with that. And also, what I'm noticing, the more raw milk I have, the less meat I have to buy. I still eat meat. I still eat a lot of meat, but I don't have to eat as much. Like, if I'm having like a pint to a liter of raw milk a day, instead of needing like closer to a pound and a half, 2 pounds, I can be satiated with a pound, maybe a pound of some change of meat, red meat specifically. My body likes red meat. Doesn't really do much with other stuff. Like, I still eat eggs every day just to get additional protein and good fat cholesterol and stuff like that. But yeah, a lot like the chickens, turkey and stuff doesn't really do much for me. They're just trying to see if that hawk came back in. I don't see it, but I'm just very grateful that I saw it. And as I started going into this thing about eating more, I'm finding other people about eating more. It's just like you vibrate on the frequency that you're on. So I'm finding more information about that, and it's like the whole intermittent fasting, and this just doesn't work for me anymore. And I used to have to do it as part of a spiritual practice where I had to do it for certain things, and then there were times it was just unexpected, and that just put me through a lot of stress. And I'm just so grateful that isn't part of my story anymore, because my body needs to eat. Now I'm realizing I probably need to eat closer to every 2 to 3 hours, because I was doing that before. I was just trying to increase volume. I was getting some help with that, but now I'm trying to eat every 2 to 3 hours, which can sometimes be a little much, but we're figuring it out. So, like, milk, that's for me, that's considered a meal. So I'll wait another 2 to 3 hours before having something else. So it's like I had the milk, and then I had bison and eggs. Oh, speaking of eggs, talk about abundance. So I was so blessed. I got one of the deliveries. I get like my raw milk and some of that stuff. They were having a sale on eggs, duck eggs specifically. And if you don't know about duck eggs are great because I don't know all the nutritional facts, but generally they're almost twice the size of chicken eggs. They have a little bit more cholesterol, protein. I just think they're great. And I also think, because I also get organic pastured and stuff like that, I think ducks are a little less, what's the word? Commercial hybridized and stuff like that. So they're a little bit more wild. But I initially just bought eggs, like the duck eggs, because it's just like, if I'm going to pay all this much for chicken eggs, I might as well have duck eggs if I'm going to pay close to the same amount. And I'm getting nearly double the amount anyway. So they were on sale. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy 4 dozen. I'll find, like, they'll last a bit in the fridge and I'll use them more a little bit. Then I go to my food co-op for my other shopping. So the so the original duck eggs I got for $5.50 for a dozen. That's insane. Like $5.50 for a dozen duck eggs. Organic, pastured, all that good stuff. So the next day, so after I got my delivery, super happy, yay. I'm like super, super excited, happy. And then I go to my food co-op. I see duck eggs there because it's rare to see duck eggs because they go by so fast and everyone in the egg craze. I don't know when the egg craze is going to die down or anything. And then I don't know if this was an error with their system because I double checked the price twice, like on the computer thing, everything. Half a dozen eggs, again, organic, pastured eggs, 30 cents. Half a dozen for 30 cents. So now I have over 6 dozen eggs in my apartment. And I'm just like, what am I gonna do with all these eggs? And I was reaching out to some of my local friends who like eat really good like I do, it's like very particular food, like, hey, do you want to buy some for me? I got these for really cheap. I'll sell them to you at a really good price. And they're like, we already got eggs. I'm like, yeah, okay, what am I gonna do? And I'm like, okay, what else can I cook eggs with? Like, I don't know, like six dozen, that's a lot. And so I was like, okay, and I'm like, oh, Memorial Day is coming. So I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna experiment before Memorial Day to make some deviled eggs. You know, just something for my family and stuff like that. Because, you know, my family doesn't eat the way I do, so I try to be more mindful when I'm with them. Like, I'll take some extra supplements like charcoal to deal with stuff. And I also sometimes bring food. So this will be a good idea to bring something like deviled eggs. And maybe I'll also bring my coconut pudding, which apparently tastes a lot like a Hawaiian dish, how I made it. At least that's what my in-laws tell me because they used to live in Hawaii. It's like, oh, it tastes just like that. So I'm like, okay, so I have an idea with some of these eggs, but I have eggs for days now. Okay, I know that was an offshoot, but yeah, going back to the gratitude and eating and stuff like that and sleep, you know, we're just taking every little bit at a time. And, you know, there's often time of adjustments and things like that. And so it's like, oh, I didn't quite eat enough this day. I thought I did because I had all this, but it's like, nope, I needed more protein. So it's like, it's late at night. I don't want to, I don't want to start cooking meat. So it's like, I would just grab some peanut butter because I like peanut butter. And that's okay. And everyone has a whole thing with what's good, what's not good. But it's like, just find out what works for you. And, you know, different things are going to work for you at different times. Like, there was a time that the intermittent fasting and stuff did work for me, but now it doesn't. And, you know, I'm just learning to regulate more. And I'm noticing the big difference in eating more and eating more often. It's helping me so much that I'm not having as much pain and issues as before. And I'm just slowly getting back to an optimal health for me. And would love to know what you all are grateful for, what's optimal for you, because what's optimal for me is not necessarily going to be optimal for you. And with that, I hope you take some time to get some sunlight, because even if you don't want to walk first thing in the morning, I think it's so good to get a little bit of sunlight and walking each day, move your body, get some vitamin D. Okay, I will see you all later. Bye.